Dear listeners, before we get started, drop a quick hi in the comments and let us know where you're tuning in from. Also, if you have any suggestions for us to make the channel better, please let us know. Now let's start with the story. I'm Elias. Been with Camila for 3 years now. Solid relationship. Or so I thought. We met in this movie scene kind of way. My car breaks down in the middle of a thunderstorm, because of course it does. Somewhere between civilization and nowhere. I'm soaked, pissed, and halfway convinced I'll be murdered by a guy named Hank in a flannel shirt. Then out of nowhere comes this rust bucket tow truck with one working headlight, and a woman climbing out in coveralls like she's in a damn Super Bowl ad. That was Camila. She fixed my car right there, in the pouring rain, like some greasy angel of mercy. Then we ended up talking for hours at this 24-hour diner, and I swear, it felt like fate. Like, who gets a love story that starts like that? I was out here thinking we were some Nicholas Sparks special edition. Fast forward to last week. She says she's going on a girls' trip to Miami with her friends. Emphasis on friends, which at the time, I naively assumed meant people I've heard of. I was like, cool, have fun. I'm not a caveman. I believe in fun. But then she starts getting weirdly evasive. I ask, which friends? And suddenly it's me that's the problem. Why are you so insecure? Don't you trust me? You always do this. Let me have some space. Oh, my bad. Sorry for caring. Didn't realize asking who you were flying 1,200 miles with was equivalent to waterboarding. So I back off, because I don't want to be that guy, the possessive boyfriend who can't handle his girl going to brunch without a lie detector test. But deep down, something felt off. Like when a horror movie goes quiet, and you know someone's about to get decapitated. Then, the night before she leaves, she's being all shady with her phone. I walk in, and she does that Olympic-level jump like I caught her running Black Ops for the CIA. Phone flips over faster than pancakes at a church breakfast. At that point, I knew something stank in the state of Florida. After she left, I decided to check our shared credit card account. Because yes, we have a joint card. For, groceries, toilet paper, emergency vet visits. Not for whatever the hell happened next. I see charges from Miami. Big ones. Like, impress the Kardashians big. Thousands of dollars blown at some nightclub called LIV. VIP table service, bottle service, probably soul service. I don't know. We're not rich, okay? That was our whole credit limit. Like, if the car breaks down again, I'll be out there with jumper cables and a prayer. So I check Instagram. Because when in doubt, snoop it out. And that's when my whole world implodes like a cheap beach umbrella in a hurricane. Turns out her girl's trip included Grace. Grace, aka the ex's sister, aka the human red flag she swore she had zero contact with. We're not even friends anymore, she said. Right. And I'm the tooth fairy. There were stories. Oh, there were stories. Camila twerking on random guys like she's auditioning for a Pitbull video. Taking shots with some rapper's entourage. Some guy who looked like if a gold chain became sentient. And the grand finale? A story of her full-on making out with some dude she tagged as Yacht Daddy. The caption? Living my best life. Single girl energy. What boyfriend? What? Boyfriend. Indeed. The absolute worst part? The universe didn't even let me find out gently. No, that would be too merciful. Instead, I get tagged like some emotionally violated deer in an Instagram story by her friend Aurora, who might actually be powered entirely by tequila and bad decisions. The story? Camila, mid-grind, on some human protein shake in a club with strobe lights going off like they were trying to summon Satan. Caption? While you're home crying at Elias. Oh, bless her heart. I wasn't crying. I was furious. Like, punch a pillow into dust furious. Like, rip off the sleeves of my shirt and yell at the moon level mad. But it got better, because of course it did. Around 4 a.m., Aurora decides to go live. Because nothing says good decisions like live streaming your public downfall. She's stumbling back to the hotel with the grace of a baby giraffe on rollerblades. Everyone's drunk, yelling, cackling. Then the camera swings around and boom, there's Camila, hanging off some guy like a glittery backpack. Giggling, clearly hammered. They walk right into a hotel room together. Door closes. And Aurora, slurs into the mic like she's accepting a Grammy. Looks like someone's getting lucky tonight. End stream. Reader, I did not text her. I did not call. I did not passive-aggressively like old vacation photos to remind her I exist. No, I got productive. First thing I did, logged into our shared travel account and canceled her return flight. Because if you're going to live like a single influencer with brain fog, then you better Uber your ass back from Miami on a bird scooter. Then I called the locksmith. Changed every lock on our apartment. Hell, I would have changed the locks on the kitchen cabinets if I could. Then I went full Marie Kondo on her existence. Boxed up every last thing she left. Clothes, makeup, her weird skincare fridge, and drove it all straight to Goodwill. You're welcome. Random stranger now using her $300 serum to exfoliate your elbows. I dumped her expensive face creams. Not because I'm petty, okay, partially, but because I genuinely didn't want that haunting our sink. I threw our framed photos into the dumpster like I was trying out for Olympic shot put. The only thing I kept was the joint credit card statement. Evidence, Your Honor. Then 4 days later, exactly when she was supposed to fly home, my phone exploded like a grenade filled with desperation. 84 messages. In a row. Babe, please. My flight is canceled. I can't get home. My card is declined. I have no money. I'm sleeping on the airport floor. It wasn't what it looked like, I promise. Please, Elias, answer me. Oh, now I'm babe again. Fascinating. Then her mom calls me. Not once. Not 5 times. 28 times. In a row. Screaming on voicemails about how I'm abusive for leaving her daughter stranded. Ma'am, your daughter stranded herself. On a sea of vodka, poor choices, and yacht-related infidelity. Then came the calls from unknown numbers. I assume her friends. Or possibly Miami's entire bartender union. So I went scorched earth. Blocked her mom. Blocked Camila. Blocked every last glitter-drenched friend she has. Temporarily deactivated my Instagram just so I wouldn't get tagged in their nonsense anymore. Peace at last. Of course not. This morning I wake up to an email. Because when you block every other form of communication, the desperate will discover Gmail. She's still in Miami. Staying at Grace's cousin's place now. Says I stole her property by donating her stuff. Says she's going to the police if I don't return it. Yeah, let me know how that goes when you explain to Officer Sanchez that I donated your Sephora haul and your fuzzy slippers. She says she's coming home one way or another and that I better let her in or else. Or else what? She humiliated me. She broke us. She maxed out our card. She posted single girl energy while making out with some dude named Yacht Daddy. And just when I thought it couldn't get worse, because of course I did, I was clearing out my photo album, looking at screenshots, trying to delete the digital mess of it all. And in the background of one of Aurora's early posts, blurry but unmistakable, there he was. Her ex. The same one whose sister was just going on the trip. He was there. The whole time. This wasn't just a random hookup situation. No, this was planned. Like spreadsheets and color-coded tabs planned. Probably been cooking for months while I was over here making her smoothies and asking if she wanted oat milk or almond. Meanwhile, she's out there forming a damn Avengers team of betrayal. And then, because Karma apparently runs a full-time overtime shift, Camila starts blowing up my phone. Again, same with her mom, who must have set her ringtone to Harpy's shriek, because every call felt like I was being dive-bombed by guilt. So the morning after I made that post, I finally turned my phone back on. The thing buzzed so hard it nearly slid off the table. 137 new texts. From Camila alone. 137. I didn't even read them all. Just opened the thread and scrolled for sport. The tone had gone full nuclear. We'd gone from "please baby come home" to "I will end your bloodline." Highlights included: "You're literally insane. You had no right to touch my things. You better lawyer up because I'm gonna make you pay for what you did. Oh, we're doing all caps now? Cute." I didn't respond. I just deleted the whole thing like it was a newsletter I never signed up for. Then, just when I was about to breathe, my own mom calls. "Sweetie, WTF is going on?" Oh, good. That tone. That's the "you better not have joined a cult or killed someone" tone. Apparently, Camila's mom somehow dug up my mom's number, probably from that overly polite Christmas dinner where we all pretended to be functioning adults, and had been harassing her for hours, telling her that I was abusive, I stole thousands of dollars worth of Camila's designer clothes and makeup, and that her daughter was stranded like some damsel in a telenovela. So now I'm on the phone with my mom, who's normally zen enough to teach yoga to monks, and she's ready to fly to Miami with a flamethrower. I had to explain everything. The club charges. The cheating. The yacht daddy. The part where Camila canceled her return ticket by existing as a disaster. My mom, God bless her, was like, "Well, good. You should have tossed her crap in the dumpster. But now you better talk to a lawyer because I'm not helping you pay off her party debt." Turns out Camila had racked up $7,000 on our shared credit card. $7,000 on club tables and bottles and vibes. On a card with a $9,000 limit that we're both responsible for. Because love is trust, and trust is financial ruin, apparently. So I called the credit card company. Explained the whole nightmare. Left out the part about Yacht Daddy, though I was tempted. They basically said, "Well, sucks to be you, but she's an authorized user, so." They did flag the account for potential fraud, which was corporate speak for, "We'll toss this into a folder somewhere and never look at it again." I disputed the biggest charges, because why not try? But honestly, I'm not holding my breath. I'm just holding on to receipts. Literal and emotional. 2 days after that first post, I'm finally at work, trying to pretend I'm a functioning adult with a job that doesn't involve untangling relationship debris. And my phone rings. It's my neighbor, Tyler. Great guy. Owns too many plants, but means well. Hey man, sorry to bug you, but there's a woman screaming outside your apartment. Like, pounding on your door. Crying. Something about you being childish. Oh, yes. The return of Hurricane Camila. Tyler continues. She's yelling for you to just open the damn door. Oh, of course. Because I'm the one being childish. So I thanked Tyler, real MVP of the day, and told him to just ignore the drama tornado currently wailing outside my door. Figured she'd tire herself out like a toddler in a tantrum. Wrong. An hour later, I'm at work, trying to pretend that I'm not emotionally bankrupt and financially ruined, when my boss walks in with this weird look. Elias, there's someone here asking for you. In the lobby. Now, in my head, I'm like, cool, maybe it's a delivery. Or the universe giving me a break. But no, of course not. It's Camila's dad. This man is standing in the lobby like a poorly aged mob boss. Red-faced, fists clenched, looking like he's either about to lecture me or challenge me to a duel in the parking lot. He doesn't even wait. You stole my daughter's property. You're going to jail for this. Oh, awesome. A felony accusation in front of Sharon from accounting. I took a breath. Tried to remain the picture of calm professionalism, which is hard when you're being accused of grand theft. Sephora. Maybe you should ask your daughter about the guy she followed into a hotel room at 4 a.m. in Miami. I said, nice and loud, for maximum echo and trauma. He sputtered like an old lawnmower, and before he could lunge, security stepped in like this was a Judge Judy episode on caffeine. He tried to follow me back to the elevator, all puffed up like a rooster, but security wasn't having it. I gave them a little salute. My coworkers were all staring and whispering like middle schoolers who just heard the word divorce for the first time. It was mortifying, sure, but honestly, at that point, I was so far past humiliation, I was in another time zone. After work, I didn't go home. My spidey senses were tingling, and not in the sexy, fun way. In the Camila's probably crouching behind a bush with binoculars way. So I parked a block away. Good call. Her car was right there, parked like it was guarding the building, and I could see her and her parents standing by the entrance like they were auditioning for a low-budget family intervention show. Nope, not today. I called up my buddy Dave, who, bless him, told me to get my ass over there and crash on his couch. So I did. We watched reruns, ate leftover wings, and I slept in my jeans like a man too tired to care. The next morning, I got up super early. I'm talking 5:30 a.m., thinking I could sneak back home like a ninja. Wrong. Again. Camila was literally sleeping in her car outside my building. I wish I were making this up. I walk up, and she bolts out of the driver's seat like it's a damn zombie apocalypse, and I'm the last Twinkie on Earth. She runs up and blocks the door like she's Gandalf now. You shall not pass. She looked rough, puffy-eyed, still wearing her Miami outfit, which now looked like it had been through a war. Her mascara was giving raccoon energy. The smell? Somewhere between spilled tequila and desperation. She launched straight into the waterworks. Elias, please, it was all a misunderstanding. Nothing happened with those guys. It was just for social media, I swear. I laughed, right in her face. I couldn't help it. It just burst out like a snort you try to hold in during a funeral. Cool, I said. So who was the guy you followed into the hotel room at 4 a.m.? Yacht Daddy. She blinked. I was just walking him to his door. Nothing happened. Ah yes. The old, walk him to his door move. Very platonic. Very innocent. A classic. Save your lies for someone who gives a damn. I told her and tried to move past. She grabbed my arm. Hard. Dug her nails and like I was the last lifeboat on the Titanic. I yanked myself away. Touch me again and I'm calling the cops for assault, I said. That's when she snapped. You're the criminal. You stole my stuff. You're going to pay. You. And there it was. According to Camila, I was the criminal for stealing her stuff. I finally got inside my building, and Camila was still outside, pounding on the glass door like she was auditioning for The Walking Dead, ex-girlfriend edition. I didn't even acknowledge her. I just kept walking while she kept yelling like I had stolen her firstborn child and not, donated a few expired eyeshadow palettes and crop tops. Told the building manager what was happening, and bless his soul, he didn't ask questions. Just picked up the phone and called security like it was the most normal Tuesday morning task on his list. Security came down and escorted her off the property, but not before she gave one final Oscar-worthy scream, hands in the air. This isn't over, Elias. You'll regret this. The usual. Like I'm the villain in her origin story. Later that day, I get a text from some random number. Guess who? Grace. Yep, Grace. The ex's sister, aka the walking red flag I was explicitly told would not be on the girl's trip. She had the audacity to text, "You need to make this right with Camila." Oh, do I? So I responded, "Quick question, why were you on a girl's trip with Camila's ex?" She left me on read. Shocker. Grace has the emotional intelligence of a potato. That night, my parents came over. Probably to make sure I hadn't turned into a vigilante or joined a cult. My dad thought we should just give Camila money to cover the cost of her donated clothes. Just pay her, son. Settle it. Get her out of your life. Yeah, thanks, Dad. You want to Venmo her a therapy fund while you're at it? My mom was not on board. Excuse me? She humiliated him in public, maxed out the credit card, and we're supposed to reward her for that? I don't think so. And boom. Suddenly my living room became a courtroom drama. My dad's all peace and closure, and my mom's one monologue away from throwing her shoe at someone. In the middle of all that chaos, because the universe is clearly trolling me, Camila shows up. Again. This time she brings back up her ride-or-die goblin, Aurora. You know, the same Aurora who tagged me in a video of Camila giving a stranger a lap dance with the caption, "While you're home, crying at Elias." That one. I didn't answer the door, obviously, but they weren't exactly subtle. "Elias, open the door. You can't just ghost someone like this. This is illegal. We know you're home." Yeah, it was giving Shrek villagers storming the castle, not a healthy conversation. Then my dad, bless his misguided soul, decided to help. "I'll just talk to them," he says. Big mistake. He opens the door, and Camila barrels past him like she's running a touchdown. Immediately starts yelling, "You had no right to donate my things. That was my property. That was expensive stuff." Meanwhile, Aurora, and I cannot stress this enough, is literally filming on her phone, holding it up like she's waiting for me to throw a chair so she can go viral on TikTok with the caption #PsychoExBoyfriend. My mom steps in like she's about to square up. "Camila, get out of this apartment right now, or I'm calling the police." Camila immediately turns on the waterworks. Full meltdown mode. I have nowhere to go. All my stuff is gone. I can't even go to work because he donated my uniforms. Oh no, not the sacred Chili's apron. My dad starts to look sympathetic. The eyebrow twitch, the soft sigh. He's falling for it. He's always had this weakness for damsels in distress, even if the damsel is the arsonist. So I had to shut that down. Grabbed the remote, pulled up Instagram on the big screen like I was hosting a damn PowerPoint of betrayal. Boom. There she is, Camila, mid-make-out with Yacht Daddy. Swipe. There's her grinding on some dude in VIP. Swipe again. Her drinking straight from a bottle, captioned, "Single girl energy." What boyfriend? My mom's jaw literally dropped. Aurora, camera still rolling like she thought she was producing the next Dateline episode, actually tried to grab the remote from me. "Girl, please." I yanked it out of her reach like I was on an infomercial for petty but agile. Then Camila decided she was going to go full WWE. Lunged at me like she was about to perform a suplex, screaming something unintelligible about her dignity and $300 foundation. In the process, she managed to knock over my coffee table. Glass top. Shattered. Everywhere. It sounded like a chandelier exploded in the middle of a hostage negotiation. That was it. My dad, finally realizing this was not just a misunderstanding, pulled out his phone and called 911 while my mom and I were both yelling at Camila and Aurora to get out. Like, full chorus. We could have been in a Broadway production of GTFO, the musical. They eventually left, but not before Camila stood in my doorway, hair wild, mascara streaked, giving her final villain monologue. "You'll regret this, Elias. I swear, I'll ruin you." Great. Can't wait. Let me know if I need to RSVP to the ruination. Cops showed up 20 minutes later. Super chill dudes. I walked them through the whole situation, showed them the broken table, the Instagram posts, even Aurora's Oscar bait footage. One of the officers watched a clip of Camila yelling, "I have nowhere to go," while wearing a rhinestone crop top and holding a vape. He just nodded like, "Yep, standard Tuesday." They took a report, but said there wasn't much they could do since Camila had already left. Suggested I get a restraining order, which at this point might be the only thing I don't share with her. Then this morning, as if my week hadn't already been brought to you by Satan himself, I wake up to an email from Camila's workplace. Apparently, she told HR that I hacked into our joint credit card account and stole her flight information, stranding her in Miami during a supposed emergency family visit. An emergency family visit. In Miami. With her ex. During spring break. Right. Anyway, they wanted to hear my side before they took further action. So I sent them screenshots of her single girl energy and what boyfriend. Instagram posts, complete with her tongue down some dude's throat and a bottle of Dom in her hand. I also attached the credit card statement showing the thousands of dollars she blew on nightclubs, bottle service, and what I assumed was the GDP of Cuba in mojitos. I explained that it was a joint account, that she was an authorized user, and that I had every right to dispute the charges since the emergency she referenced involved glow sticks and lap dances. Haven't heard back yet. Probably because someone in HR needed a minute to stop laughing. Then I got a text from a mutual friend, bless these informants, saying Camila's now telling everyone that I was physically and financially abusive throughout our relationship. That Miami was actually her grand escape plan to flee the monster. Right. Her big escape plan involved blowing $7,000 at LIV, posting thirst traps with her ex, and live streaming it with captions like, "Who needs men?" So brave. And the kicker? Another friend told me Camila had been planning to break up with me after Miami anyway. The whole trip was just her one last hurrah, her final party weekend, funded by me, before she dumped me and rode off into the overpriced South Beach sunset. She'd already been looking at apartments with Aurora. So the girl's trip wasn't just a lie, it was a heist. Now, her parents are threatening legal action over the clothes I donated. She's out here slandering me like it's her new full-time job, and I'm stuck holding the bag. And the bag is full of thousands in credit card debt from her Miami bender. I walked into work on Monday, coffee in hand, ready to start the week pretending I wasn't emotionally spiraling. But the second I stepped through the door, I knew something was off. You know that feeling when everyone looks at you like you just farted in an elevator? Yeah, that. People were staring, whispering, like I'd grown a second head or showed up in Crocs and a cape. Then my buddy Logan pulled me aside, looking like he was about to break the news that I'd been drafted into jury duty. "Dude, you need to see this." He shows me his phone, and there it was. Camila's magnum opus, a 37-slide Instagram story essay complete with sad music, black and white filters, and paragraphs in Comic Sans-level melodrama about how I was emotionally abusive. Apparently, Miami wasn't a spring break tequila-fueled betrayal fest. It was her escape plan. She said I monitored her spending, which is hilarious, considering she treated our joint credit card like it was Jeff Bezos' Black Amex. Claimed I isolated her from her friends, which is rich coming from the woman who went to Rage Cabo 2023 with a girl squad I literally couldn't keep track of. It was all complete and utter crap, but the kicker? Some of our mutual friends were actually buying it. People I've known for years commenting stuff like, "You're so brave for speaking out, sis. No one deserves that. Proud of you. Escape Queens Unite." Escape Queens? What is this, Alcatraz, Influencer Edition? I was livid, but I decided not to respond publicly. That's exactly what she wanted, to drag me into an online back and forth so she could screenshot it and caption it Toxic X Energy. Nope, I was not giving her that content. But of course, the universe wasn't done with me. That afternoon, my boss calls me into his office. Great, just what I needed. Turns out, Camila had called HR, claimed I was unstable and that they should be concerned. Like I was going to storm the break room and start throwing staplers because someone used my mug. My boss, thankfully, knows me well enough to know I'm not that guy. But still, he had to follow company protocol, which meant I had to sit there, in my adult pants, and explain why my unhinged ex was out here trying to ruin my life like it was a damn Netflix drama. He was cool about it. Said something like, "Elias, I don't believe a word of this. But keep your personal life personal. Please. Fair. Embarrassing, but fair." So I go home, already running on emotional fumes and iced coffee, and what do I see? An envelope, taped to my door. Because nothing says, "We've reached peak petty," like a legal threat taped to your apartment. I open it. Boom. A formal letter from some lawyer, claiming I'm being sued for conversion of property. Apparently, donating her clothes was now a criminal act. According to this legal wizard, Camila's wardrobe was worth over $20,000. $20,000. Included in that estimate? Designer items, and, wait for it, family heirlooms. I laughed so hard I almost dropped the letter. Family heirlooms. The girl had, like, 3 dresses from Forever 21, some foundation from Target, and a cracked Morphe palette that looked like it had been through a minor explosion. The most expensive thing she owned was a pair of AirPods, which I bought her. For Christmas, I called my cousin, who's in law school, because at this point the only legal advice I could afford came from someone still taking exams. She said, and I quote, "Well, technically, she might have a claim for the value of some items. But the emotional damages part? That's just Camila being Camila." Cool. So basically, I need a real lawyer now. Because why not add legal fees to the already delightful pile of credit card debt and now, possibly, having to pay for her designer clothes? After that whole legal threat taped to my door fiasco, I decided enough was enough. If Camila was going to play dirty, I needed ammo. So I started combing through our old texts and emails, partly for evidence, partly just to remind myself I wasn't hallucinating this entire fever dream of a relationship. That's when I stumbled across something weird. Back in February, Camila forwarded me an email confirmation for a hotel reservation in Miami for this exact week in May. At the time, I had asked her about it. "Hey, what's this hotel thing in Miami?" "Oh," she replied casually. "Aurora was just checking prices. No biggie. We're just thinking about a possible trip later this year." And like an idiot in love, I bought it. I didn't even blink. I was probably too busy meal prepping or ordering more laundry detergent to question why someone would book a hotel in Miami 3 months in advance just for price checking. But now? Oh no. That was a smoking gun with a neon sign on it that read, "Lies, Party, and Infidelity. This way." So I kept digging. I searched for her name in my inbox and found another gem. In March, Camila asked me to scan and send her a copy of my driver's license. Said it was for insurance paperwork. You know, something boring and adult. I didn't even hesitate. Just snapped a pic and sent it over, because why would I ever assume my girlfriend was plotting low-level financial fraud? Now, I'm wondering if she used it to open accounts in my name or add me as an authorized user to something I did not authorize, which would honestly track with her current vibe of gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, but make it felonious. And just when I thought the plot couldn't get thicker, it turned into freaking lasagna. The next day, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Normally I ignore those, but something told me to pick up. Hey, is this Elias?" "Yeah. Who's this?" "It's Caleb." Caleb, Camila's ex. The one whose sister, Grace, was on the Miami trip. The one Camila swore she hadn't talked to in years. You know, back when I still believed her mouth was connected to her brain and not just a lava tube of fiction. He sounded super awkward. Like he really didn't want to be doing this, but also maybe his conscience was finally kicking in after months of playing side dude. "I just thought you should know the truth, man. Camila, she reached out to me back in January. While I was planning her birthday dinner and looking up vegan dessert recipes." He went on. "She said she wanted to reconnect and clear the air between us. So we started texting. Then we met for coffee. Then, you know more. Of course, because coffee is always the gateway drug. Apparently, they'd been seeing each other on and off for months, while she was still coming home to me, kissing me goodnight, and stealing my almond milk. Then he drops the real kicker. The Miami trip? That wasn't a last-minute girls' trip. That was planned by all of us. Camila, me, Grace, a bunch of our friends. She told everyone she was going to break up with you before the trip. But then, she decided to wait until after. Said she wanted to enjoy Miami without drama. Oh, well, how thoughtful of her. Wouldn't want to ruin her fun by ending the relationship before the group orgy. No, that would just be inconvenient. She didn't want drama. Just bottle service, beach selfies, and secret hookups with her ex, on my dime, before ghosting me like a damn credit scam. She wanted to enjoy Miami without drama. And boy, she almost pulled it off. Caleb said he had no idea Camila and I shared a credit card, that she was spending my money on their little rekindling tour. Said he wouldn't have agreed to go if he knew I was footing the bill for his overpriced mojitos and bad decisions. I was skeptical because, let's be honest, why would her ex suddenly grow a conscience? What was this, a holiday Hallmark redemption arc? But then he sent screenshots, full-blown receipts, convos about the Miami trip, plans about how to sneak around, selfies from their coffee dates that looked suspiciously like they were taken in bed. It was all true. I'd been completely and thoroughly played. Like a fiddle. A dumb, financially responsible, emotionally loyal fiddle. I thanked Caleb for whatever that was worth and asked, "Why now? Why are you telling me this all of a sudden?" His answer? "Because Camila's out here telling people you were abusive. And I know that's not true. She said nothing but nice things about you when we were sneaking around." Oh, well, isn't that sweet? While she was cheating on me, she was praising me to her side dude. That's like stabbing me in the back while complimenting my posture. Still, I had to admit, Caleb, the ex-boyfriend, had shown me more basic human decency than the woman I shared a bed, bank account, and Netflix password with. So later that day, I marched into the bank to deal with the financial horror show Camila left behind. I thought I was just going to sort out the credit card mess. But surprise, plot twist number 400. Since it was a joint account, I got access to all our transactions over the last few months. That's when I noticed the slow bleed. Camila had been making small withdrawals, $100 here, $200 there, for 3 months. I hadn't noticed because the amounts were just low enough to stay under my radar. Sneaky, like financial termites. I totaled it up. $3,940. Gone. Like my dignity. I remembered asking her about a few of those withdrawals. "Hey, what was that $150 for?" "Oh, I had to get my brakes checked. $200 this week. Helping my mom with a bill. You know she's struggling." Lies. All of it. I felt like I was living in a low-budget soap opera where the twist is always she was worse than you thought. The bank rep was nice, at least. Sympathetic, even. But basically told me that since we weren't married and both names were on the account, there was nothing they could do. The money wasn't stolen. It was just spent, which is a poetic way of saying, tough luck, pal. Should have dated an accountant. Between the credit card and the drained savings, I'm now out almost $11,000. Which is cool. Who needs a future anyway? So I get home from the bank, already feeling like I've aged 10 years, and who's waiting outside my building? Yep, Camila. Again. But this time, she's flying solo. No Aurora, no backup dancers. Just her, leaning against the wall like she's auditioning for a breakup scene in an indie film. She looked calm. Too calm. Can we talk? She asked. Like adults. I agreed, reluctantly, but only in the lobby. Public place. Witnesses. Cameras. Just in case she tried to throw herself through a window and blame me. We sat across from each other, and she started off with the softest voice possible. Elias, I never meant to hurt you. Things just got out of hand in Miami. Uh-huh. Right around the time your tongue got out of hand in that rapper's VIP section? Then I brought up the actual timeline. The hotel booking in February. The license scan in March. The affair with Caleb that started in January. The $4,000 she siphoned like she was running a Ponzi scheme with my checking account. That's when the mask dropped. Her whole, I'm so sorry, act vanished faster than our savings. She looked at me with this deadpan face like she was ordering coffee. Yeah, okay, fine. I planned the trip months ago. I was seeing Caleb behind your back. I used the joint account on purpose. I knew I was breaking up with you after the trip anyway. So, why not enjoy myself one last time? Oh, well, duh. Of course. Silly me. Thinking love meant not racking up thousands in club charges before dumping someone. How selfish of me to assume basic human decency. She wanted to enjoy herself one last time. She said she didn't tell me before the trip because she wanted to avoid a messy scene. Right. God forbid there be any drama while she's out here planning a beachside betrayal with bottle service. I figured it'd be easier to just end things when I got back, she said, like she was rescheduling a dental cleaning. The worst part, she added, like this was a rom-com monologue. You should be grateful. I was planning to break up with you properly. I could have just ghosted you. Oh, well, thank you, Your Royal Highness of emotional maturity, for graciously planning to dump me after your cheating spree. What a saint. Where's your Nobel Peace Prize? So I naturally said, cheating on me and maxing out our shared credit card isn't exactly taking the high road, Camila. She just shrugged, literally shrugged, like I had just commented on the weather. Life's too short to be miserable, she replied. Yeah, well, so is my patience and also my bank account, thanks to you. Then we got to the real reason she'd asked to talk like adults. She wanted money. Specifically, she wanted me to either return her stuff, which, spoiler alert, gone, or pay her for it so she would drop the lawsuit. She said it all casual, like she was negotiating over a used couch on Craigslist. I just laughed. Camila, your things were donated weeks ago. There's probably a grandmother somewhere right now rocking your hot girl summer crop tops at church brunch. That didn't go over well. She started yelling that I had no right, that I was a thief, and that she'd make sure everyone knows what kind of person I really am. I told her, go ahead, knock yourself out. I've got nothing to hide. You, on the other hand, might want to delete a few stories from your single girl energy highlight reel. And that's when she really went off the rails. Maybe I should call your parents, she snapped, and tell them you've been physically aggressive with me. Oh, I pulled out my phone. Hit record. What was that, Camila? Mind repeating that for the camera? She looked like I'd just dumped a bucket of ice water on her. Then, in a fit of totally not suspicious rage, she knocked the phone out of my hand, screamed something incoherent, and stormed out. Phone screen cracked, but the audio? Chef's kiss. Crystal clear. My cousin, pre-law, unofficial legal hype man, says that recording might actually save my ass if she tries to pull some next-level courtroom drama. And honestly, bless that cracked screen phone. MVP of the week. So, later that night, I was having dinner with my parents. Gave them the full recap, including the recording, the lawsuit threat, and the fact that Camila's been treating my finances like monopoly money. My mom, God love her, suggests I make a detailed list of everything I donated. With approximate values, she says, fork midair, just in case this goes to court. She's already got a notebook out and is scribbling like we're preparing for a garage sale that's doubling as a legal defense. Then my dad's phone rings. Camila's dad. My dad looks at me. I look at him. He puts it on speaker. Because at this point, why not? We're living in a live-action soap opera. Might as well get the family edition. Camila's dad, to my absolute surprise, apologizes. Elias, I'm really sorry, son. Caleb reached out to us, told us everything. About the affair, the planned trip, all of it. He sounded tired, like he'd just learned his daughter moonlights as a manipulative grifter. We had no idea she was lying to everyone, he said. We're disappointed in her behavior. He asked if we could meet to discuss a reasonable resolution without lawyers. Sure, because when someone tries to nuke your life with lawsuits, Instagram hit pieces, and emotional terrorism, nothing screams reason like a Starbucks summit. Still, I agreed. Call it curiosity. Call it masochism. Call it a desperate craving for a caramel macchiato with extra spite. Either way, I went. And because the universe has already shown me it hates me just enough, my dad insisted on coming along. I initially told him it wasn't necessary. He gave me the dad glare and said, "If that girl shows up and tries anything, you're not going in there alone." Honestly, best call he's made since switching to decaf. We met at the Starbucks down the street from my apartment. Neutral ground, I guess. I showed up 5 minutes early, because trauma hasn't made me late, just deeply untrusting. Camila's parents arrived looking like they were on their way to deliver an apology at a press conference. Her dad started off calm, polite even. "Elias, we're really sorry. We're ashamed of how things unfolded. We'd like to find a resolution." For the first 5 minutes, it felt genuine. Almost normal, like they were here to help right a wrong. And then, boom, twist. Camila walks in like she's starring in a dramatic courtroom drama that no one asked for. Slides into the seat across from me like it's her weekly book club and not a surprise ambush. I look at her parents. They look anywhere but at me. So yeah, definitely planned. Camila opens a folder and starts pulling out screenshots like she's some prosecutor in a trial from hell. Printed screenshots, mind you. Not even on a tablet like a normal person. No, physical pages. She starts laying them out on the table like she's playing some twisted version of Uno, Gaslight Edition. "These texts," she says, all smug, "show a pattern of you being emotionally controlling." I look down, and I realize immediately, they're edited. Not even well. She'd cut and pasted entire chunks of old conversations, different fonts, weird line breaks, random gaps in the timestamps. One of them had me saying, "You're not allowed to go out with your friends. I don't trust you." Except I never said that. Ever. The real message? "Hey, let me know what time you'll be home so I don't worry. Love you." But of course, she'd cut that part out and left just enough to make it sound like I was the jealous boyfriend from a Netflix docuseries. Another one had me threatening to cancel her flight. Except it was a message from after I found out she'd been partying with Caleb, and it just said, "I don't owe you anything after this." Which, for the record, is called restraint, considering I really wanted to text, "Enjoy the floor at Miami Airport, traitor." So yeah, she came in with a full-on scrapbook of manipulated nonsense trying to make it look like I'd said controlling or threatening things. My dad immediately stood up, full protective dad mode activated, and said, "We're leaving. Now." But of course, the chaos wasn't done yet. Not even close. Camila's mom lunged across the table and grabbed my arm. Yes, actually grabbed me, and started getting all teary-eyed like she was auditioning for desperate mothers of delusional daughters. "Please, Elias," she sniffled. "Just pay for the clothes. We can make this lawsuit go away." Like I was buying back my piece in installments. I yanked my arm away, not aggressively, just enough to say, "Get off me, lady," and that's when I heard it. Click. I turn, and there's Camila with her phone, pointed right at me, smirking like she'd just won bingo. That's when it hit me. They were trying to stage a scene. Trying to provoke me, get it on camera, and twist it into some Lifetime movie, abusive ex fantasy. Honestly, it would have been impressive if it weren't so terrifying. So my dad and I just walked out. Didn't say a word. Just kept it moving like pros. And in the parking lot, Aurora, sitting in a car with her phone angled toward the window, recording the whole damn thing. The full squad was out here playing CSI, Civil Lawsuit Edition. I looked at my dad and said, "Well, that was fun. Should we go throw ourselves into traffic next, or?" It was at that exact moment I realized I needed to stop screwing around and call in the big guns. I hired a real lawyer, $2,000 retainer, which, for me, might as well have been a second mortgage at that point. But sweet holy justice, it was worth every single anxiety-induced penny. First thing he did? Sent out a cease and desist to Camila and her camp over the false abuse allegations. Second thing, called out their evidence-gathering cosplay in a very sharp, very lawyer-wide tone that I can only describe as legally savage. Then, we went full nuclear option. Subpoenaed the bank records from our joint account, going back 6 months. All of Camila's social media posts from the Miami fiasco, even the ones she deleted, because guess what? Screenshots live forever. Oh, and the piece de resistance? Her text messages. With Caleb. And Aurora. Yes, we went there. And no, it wasn't pretty. 2 days before our court date, my lawyer gets a call from Camila's lawyer. Suddenly they're all, "Hey, can we settle?" Gee, I wonder why. Turns out, once they saw what we were walking into court with, they realized the only thing they were about to win was a public humiliation speedrun. The bank records? Crystal clear trail of small withdrawals and sneaky transfers to her private account. We're talking dozens, like dozens. She'd been bleeding me dry slowly for months, like a financial vampire in high heels. Then came the text with Caleb. Oh boy, turns out, they were explicitly planning the Miami trip as their big screw Elias one last time on his own dime celebration. She literally referred to it as her freedom tour. And then came the text with Aurora, which honestly should be submitted to the Smithsonian Museum of Psychopathy. One message from Camila, verbatim, "If we can get him to shove me, or even just yell, we've got this in the bag." I wish I was kidding. They were out here running a scam Olympics, and I somehow became the unwitting event sponsor. My lawyer, absolute beast, by the way, basically told Camila's attorney, "Either settle or we sue your client for defamation so hard she'll need a GoFundMe just to afford a coffee." And what do you know? Suddenly they were all about finding common ground. We signed the settlement. Camila agreed to pay back the $8,000, and I started to finally feel like I might just be free from the never-ending telenovela that had become my life. Cue final plot twist. The very next day, there's a knock at my apartment door. I check the peephole, and yep, there she is. Camila, again, looking like she just walked off the set of a tragic indie film. This time she wasn't performing. No fake tears, no shaky voice, no entourage of unpaid backup actresses like Aurora. Just real, puffy-eyed sobbing and the worst "please take me back" monologue I've ever been subjected to. She said she lost her job. Shocker, because apparently taking 17 emergency days off for a Miami meltdown and court drama doesn't fly with corporate HR. She actually said, "I made a horrible mistake. Caleb manipulated me. He said things. He made me feel like you didn't care." I just stood there, blinking like, is this real life or a deleted scene from a soap opera I didn't sign up for? So naturally, I laughed. And I don't mean a soft chuckle. I mean full, chesty, bitter exhale of disbelief kind of laugh. Then, I shut the door in her face. And just for fun, I texted her the screenshots of her own messages. The ones where she talked about planning to break up with me after the trip so she could enjoy Miami without drama. She stood outside screaming like she was auditioning for Wailing Woman No. 3 in some tragic musical. 20 full minutes. My neighbor finally called building security, bless her soul. That night, I got the expected barrage of drunk texts. "I've always loved you. We were meant to be together. I can't sleep without thinking about you. And my personal favorite, can you bring me back my curling iron?" I didn't reply to any of it. The next morning, she tried to play it cool. "Sorry about those texts last night. Can we just be adults about this and stay friends?" "Sure, Camila. Let's be adults, right after you Venmo me the money." So I replied with exactly one sentence. "Send me the money you owe by Friday, or we're going back to court." She Venmo'd me that same day, with the note, "Hope we're happy now." Oh, I am. So, freaking happy. After that, the chaos settled into something I'd call manageable mess. Some mutual friends took her side, of course. They thought donating her stuff was too harsh. Too harsh. She staged a full-on heist of my savings and tried to turn my life into a courtroom drama. And I'm the bad guy for ditching her expired mascara? Whatever. My real friends? They stuck by me. My parents were unexpectedly chill about the whole thing. Even my dad, who originally wanted me to just give her a little cash for the clothes, ended up saying, "You handled it better than I would have. I'm proud of you." I moved out of that cursed apartment, not because of Camila, but because I couldn't afford it alone anymore. Found a smaller place with a roommate. Not exactly the bachelor pad of dreams, but hey, it's honest work. Then, last week, the cherry on top. I was out at a bar with some friends. Guess who walks in? Caleb. I tensed up, ready for awkwardness or a testosterone-fueled standoff. But nope. He came over, genuinely apologetic. He said, "Man, I just want to say I'm sorry again. I didn't know how deep in it you were. She did a lot of the same stuff to me when we dated. Lied, manipulated, spent my money." Apparently, she'd reeled him back in January, and he got sucked into the whole Miami fantasy like it was a music video. But somewhere between the bottle service and her screaming at a TSA agent, he realized she was just using both of us, the cherry on top. So Caleb, my new unlikely bro in trauma, drops this last juicy bit over a beer. Camila and Aurora had a full-on meltdown of a friendship breakup. Apparently, Camila expected Aurora to lie for her in court. Like perjury lie, real law and order energy. But Aurora, shockingly, has a self-preservation instinct. She backed out the moment she realized, wait, we could actually go to jail for this. Suddenly, Camila went from ride or die bestie to traitorous snake in her eyes. Now she's going around telling everyone Aurora betrayed her. Yeah, no, Aurora betrayed bad decisions. There's a difference. Meanwhile, Camila has no one left to mooch off of. She's crashing at her parents' place because, and I quote Caleb here, no one wants to room with her after the Miami mess. Stunning. Who wouldn't want to live with a person who fakes abuse claims, drains bank accounts, manipulates exes, and weaponizes Instagram captions? And look, I'm not going to pretend like I'm fully healed and meditating in a mountaintop monastery or whatever. I still get flashes of pure rage when I remember she was planning her little Miami breakup bonanza while smiling in my face and asking what I wanted for dinner. I took a break from all social media, deleted everything. Couldn't stand seeing mutual friends posting selfies with her like she didn't try to legally and emotionally vaporize my existence. Apparently, some people have the memory of a goldfish and the loyalty of a damp napkin. But I'm doing better. The $8,000 she paid back helped cover most of the debt she left me with. That alone was satisfying in a very petty justice kind of way. It wasn't quite a victory parade, but I did do a slow-motion fist pump in my kitchen. I even started seeing someone new recently. Nothing serious, we're taking it slow. But it's honestly just nice to talk to someone whose hobbies don't include credit card fraud and emotional terrorism. And oh, this part is chef's kiss. Remember that special origin story I used to tell anyone who would listen? My car broke down in the rain. Camila showed up in a tow truck. Fixed my engine. Fixed my heart. Barf. Well, according to Caleb, that whole romantic mechanic in the rain shtick. A trap. She used to intentionally mess with single guys' cars when she was on call. Pull a fuse here, disconnect a wire there, then play the hero. Get their numbers, bat her lashes, rinse and repeat. Apparently, I was the third guy she pulled that on. Like a damn AutoZone Black Widow. So yeah, that's the end of the great Camila saga. 3 years of what I thought was a meaningful, loving relationship, torpedoed by one woman's unchecked ego, thirst for drama, and a disturbing loyalty to VIP bottle service. But hey, at least I got some poetic revenge. She lost her job. She lost her friends. She lost her apartment. She had to cough up thousands in cash. And now, she's living with her parents at 27. And every time she tries to pull the same stunt with a new guy, same dead battery story, same flirty rescue routine, same fake girl power getaway, there'll be people who know the real story. People like me. People like Caleb. People like Aurora, probably still recovering from the emotional whiplash of being Camila's ride or die 1 minute and public enemy number 1 the next. I mean, how long before she's pulling up to some poor dude's driveway in a jumpsuit with a wrench and a fake story about how his serpentine belt is loose? The internet doesn't forget Camila. Not the screenshots. Not the captions. Not the video of you stumbling into a hotel room with Yacht Daddy while claiming you're on a spiritual retreat for emotional clarity. Sometimes people ask me, why didn't you just let it go? Why go through all the legal drama, all the money, all the stress? And I'll tell you exactly why. Because sometimes revenge isn't about doing something dramatic. It's not torching someone's car or keying liar into their hood. It's not about making a viral expose or sending glitter bombs in the mail. Although don't tempt me, I've still got Aurora's return address. No, real revenge is quieter. It's colder. It's about not backing down when someone tries to screw you over, when they think you'll roll over, take the hit, and stay quiet. It's about showing them that, no, you're not the doormat they thought you were. It's about making sure they face the consequences of their actions. Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments section below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.